For years, Jakarta has been quietly drowning, not metaphorically, literally. One of the most populated cities on Earth is sinking faster than almost any other. Homes are collapsing, roads are flooding in sunlight, skyscrapers lean ever so slightly more each year. But instead of fighting to save it, Indonesia is doing something few nations have ever attempted. They're walking away. This isn't a rescue plan, it's a reset button. A new city, built from scratch in the middle of a rainforest. A clean slate for a messy problem. It sounds like science fiction, but it's already happening, and the story behind it is bigger than one country. Because this might just be the future of capital cities around the world. Let's break it down. The idea to move the capital isn't new. Indonesian leaders have floated it since the 1960s, but it was President Joko Widodo, commonly known as Jokowi, who finally turned words into actions. In 2019, he made it official. Indonesia needed a new capital, not just because Jakarta was drowning, but because it had become a symbol of imbalance. Too much of the country's money, politics, and people were concentrated on the island of Java. Jakarta isn't just crowded, it's the heart of everything. More than half of Indonesia's 270 million people live on Java. The result? A bloated, overheated metropolis that can't keep up. Moving the capital is about spreading development more evenly across the country. East Kalimantan on the island of Borneo was chosen as the new site. It's central, it's safer from natural disasters, and it's mostly government-owned land, which makes it easier to build. The name of the new city, Nusantara, means archipelago in Old Javanese, a nod to the country's vast collection of islands. And while the plan includes preserving large parts of the rainforest, the project also promises a cutting-edge smart city powered by renewable energy. Nusantara isn't just supposed to be a new capital, it's supposed to be a symbol of the future. Jakarta is sinking faster than any major city on Earth. Some parts are dropping by 10 to 25 centimeters each year. This isn't just because of rising sea levels, though. That's part of it. The real problem lies underground. Millions of residents rely on illegally pumped groundwater because the city's piped water system is unreliable. That constant extraction is making the soil collapse. The ground is literally giving way beneath them. And while it sinks, Jakarta continues to grow. The Greater Jakarta area now holds over 30 million people, making it one of the world's most congested urban zones. Traffic jams are a daily nightmare, sometimes lasting hours. A simple 10-kilometer journey can take 2 hours. Economists estimate the city loses around $7 billion a year in productivity due to traffic alone. And don't even get started on the pollution. Air quality in Jakarta frequently ranks among the worst in the world. The smog isn't just an eyesore, it's a health hazard. Respiratory issues are rampant, especially among children. Add that to weak flood control, aging infrastructure, and political gridlock, and you get a capital that's not just sinking, it's breaking down. The government has tried everything: seawalls, drainage upgrades, even talks of artificial islands. But none of it has been enough. Jakarta's problems are too deep-rooted, too complex. That's why moving the capital is no longer just an option. For Indonesia, it's a necessity. If you're enjoying this deep dive and want to see more stories like this, from wild mega projects to real-world urban experiments, hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel reach more curious minds like yours. Nusantara isn't just a relocation project, it's a complete reimagination of what a capital city can be. Set deep within the lush landscapes of East Kalimantan, the city is designed to be a futuristic, eco-conscious hub that reflects Indonesia's ambitions, not just its geography. Imagine a place where government buildings are surrounded by forests, where drones deliver mail, and where cars rarely touch the streets because most of the transport is underground. That's the dream. According to the initial blueprint, Nusantara will cover a vast area of 256,000 hectares. That's bigger than Chicago. The heart of the city, where most of the government buildings will be located, spans about 56,000 hectares. The rest will be dedicated to green spaces, smart housing, research zones, and even conservation areas. It's being built from the ground up with climate change in mind. Solar panels, water recycling, walkable layouts, and electric public transport systems are all part of the plan. By 2025, the goal is to have the presidential palace, key ministries, and basic infrastructure ready. From there, the city will grow in phases, eventually housing over 1.5 million people. The government also says it's keeping 65% of the city as natural forest. That includes buffer zones meant to protect wildlife and reduce emissions. Nusantara isn't supposed to just move the problem from Jakarta to Kalimantan. It's trying to fix it at the root. Whether that vision becomes reality depends on 1,000 details: funding, technology, leadership, and yes, public trust. But what's clear is this: Nusantara isn't just about escaping Jakarta's collapse. It's about proving that a city designed right from the start can serve both people and the planet. Indonesia didn't waste time once the plan was greenlit. The groundbreaking for Nusantara took place in 2022, and by 2023, cranes and trucks were already moving earth across the Bornean Hills. The site, a mix of forest and cleared government land, began to show signs of structure: roads, power lines, and foundation work. By early 2024, the skeletal framework of the presidential palace had risen from the ground, surrounded by newly paved government corridors. Despite global economic uncertainties, the government pushed ahead. The goal was clear: get core government buildings ready for occupation by mid-2025. That includes the palace, ministries, and some public housing for relocating civil servants. The city is being built in phases, with each one unlocking more infrastructure, residential blocks, and transport systems. Progress hasn't been flawless. Heavy rains delayed construction in early 2023. Shipping backlogs meant materials arrived late, and environmental groups raised concerns about erosion and habitat disruption. But officials say they've adapted. Roads are reinforced to reduce washouts, and workers are rotated in shifts to keep momentum. Drone footage from late 2024 shows noticeable changes: a vast site carved with neatly planned zones, bridges linking new districts, and solar panels being installed atop administrative buildings. Engineers are now racing to finish the basic layout in time for the ceremonial move in 2025. Still, the full city won't be finished for decades. Indonesia plans to expand Nusantara through 2045, the nation's 100th anniversary. That long timeline is both a strength and a risk. It allows flexibility, but it also means future governments must stick with the vision. If political will fades, so might the city's promise. Nusantara isn't a cheap dream. The Indonesian government estimates the total cost to fall between 32 and 35 billion USD. That kind of price tag raises eyebrows, especially for a country still tackling poverty and post-pandemic recovery. But officials say the spending is justified. This isn't just a construction project, it's a national transformation. The government itself is funding around 20% of the total cost. That covers the essentials: roads, drainage, administrative buildings, and the presidential complex. The remaining 80%, it's supposed to come from private investors, both domestic and international. At least that's the plan. Early on, there was excitement. Big names like SoftBank showed interest. Countries like the UAE and China signaled support through infrastructure investment deals. But as deadlines loomed, enthusiasm cooled. SoftBank eventually pulled out. Some investors got nervous about unclear returns and unpredictable regulations. Unlike other megaprojects with direct income like toll roads or airports, a government city is harder to monetize. To revive interest, Indonesia introduced incentives, tax breaks, land use rights, long-term leases. It also assigned the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the Nusantara Capital Authority to manage partnerships and finances. Even so, critics say more transparency is needed. Some accuse the government of inflating estimates to attract investors. Others worry the heavy foreign involvement could give too much control to outside entities. Despite the hurdles, money continues to trickle in. Several local companies have already secured contracts for housing and utilities. Japanese, South Korean, and Middle Eastern firms are still in talks. But the question remains, can Indonesia balance its vision with the financial discipline to pull it off? Because if the money runs out halfway through, Nusantara won't be a new capital, it'll be a half-built monument to overreach. Public reaction to Nusantara is a mixed bag. On one hand, there's national pride, a sense that Indonesia is finally stepping into the future with a city that matches its ambitions. On the other, there's deep skepticism, especially among people who see it as an elite project that ignores everyday struggles. Surveys show many Indonesians support the concept in theory, but when asked if they believe it will be completed as promised, confidence drops. Some wonder if the government should be fixing Jakarta instead of running from it. Others worry the funds could be better spent on healthcare, education, or disaster relief. But the strongest voices come from the people living where Nusantara is being built. East Kalimantan is home to several indigenous groups, especially the Dayak people. Many of them weren't consulted before land development began. They've raised concerns about being pushed out, losing ancestral land, or seeing their forests cleared for highways and buildings. While the government has promised fair compensation and inclusion, critics say those promises haven't always been kept. There are also ecological concerns. Kalimantan is one of the most biodiverse areas on Earth. Environmentalists fear the city's construction could harm habitats and threaten endangered species. The idea of a green city sounds good, but they argue that even low-impact development can be devastating without strict safeguards. That tension is real. In 2023, small protests erupted near the construction zones. Activists called for clear land titles and better consultation with tribal leaders. Online, hashtags criticizing the relocation went viral, reflecting a broader anxiety that people are being left out of a national decision. For Nusantara to succeed, it will have to win hearts, not just headlines. That means listening to communities, not steamrolling them in the name of progress. Indonesia isn't the first country to move its capital in search of a fresh start. History is filled with governments uprooting their political hubs in pursuit of a cleaner slate, better geography, or more strategic positioning. Some succeeded, others became cautionary tales. In 1960, Brazil shocked the world by unveiling Brasilia, a sleek, futuristic capital carved out of the country's central plains. It was meant to represent a new era, pulling the political center away from coastal elites in Rio. It worked, but not without backlash. Many Brazilians still see Brasilia as disconnected and sterile, built for politicians rather than people. Fast forward to 1997. Kazakhstan moved its capital from Almaty to Astana, now called Nur Sultan. The shift was partly political, partly logistical. Almaty sat too close to seismic fault lines. The new city dazzled with modern buildings and glittering skylines, but it also faced harsh winters and struggled with real estate bubbles. Then there's Naypyidaw, Myanmar's capital since 2005. Built in secret and revealed without warning, the city has wide empty streets, sprawling administrative zones, and few residents. Many locals still question why the move happened at all. More recently, Egypt launched its new administrative capital east of Cairo, hoping to ease population pressure. The city promises high-tech infrastructure and vertical expansion, but as of 2024, most of it remains under construction, and skeptics worry it could become another unfinished megaproject. Even Nigeria relocated its capital from Lagos to Abuja in 1991. The goal was a more neutral central location. While Abuja did grow, Lagos remains the country's economic heartbeat, and many believe the move didn't solve the real problems. These examples show one thing: relocating a capital isn't just about location, it's about execution, inclusivity, and long-term vision. Without that, the boldest ideas can turn into quiet regrets. For all the vision and ambition behind Nusantara, it walks a tightrope. There's a real chance this city could become a half-built reminder of overreach, a mega project that tried to do too much too fast. One of the biggest risks is population adoption. A capital city isn't just a government complex. It needs people, families, cafes, schools, life. If citizens and civil servants refuse to move, or if businesses don't follow the relocation, Nusantara could end up as a political outpost without a heartbeat. That's already happened in Myanmar, where Naypyidaw is often described as eerie and underpopulated. Then there's the environmental toll. Kalimantan is part of one of the most ecologically rich rainforests in the world. Deforestation, disrupted migration patterns, and water contamination are all real dangers. Even if the city stays green on paper, construction itself reshapes ecosystems. If that damage goes unchecked, it could spark backlash from scientists, NGOs, and local residents alike. Another concern: the money. Many of the promised investments haven't fully landed. If foreign investors back out or costs inflate further, construction could stall. Indonesia might find itself with scattered buildings, unfinished roads, and no funds to complete them. Civil unrest is also a possibility. If relocation leads to job losses in Jakarta or displacement in Kalimantan, frustration could spill into protests. Political instability could derail the continuity needed to finish a decades-long plan. Finally, there's the risk of losing focus. New governments come and go. Priorities shift. If future administrations don't stay committed to Nusantara, progress may fade into bureaucracy. Big dreams demand long-term discipline. Without it, even the boldest vision can vanish into unfinished concrete and forgotten promises. If Nusantara works, it could change how countries think about cities. Instead of patching up broken capitals, future leaders might choose to start fresh, building smarter, greener, and more balanced urban centers. The model is appealing: relocate away from overcrowded chaos, decentralize power, and reduce climate risk. Cities like Singapore and Dubai proved that vision, discipline, and innovation can create global icons out of empty land. Nusantara wants to join that list, but the difference is scale. This isn't just about luxury or commerce. It's about shifting the entire political core of a nation. That takes more than buildings. It takes trust. If Indonesia can pull it off, manage the funding, win over the people, protect the environment, Nusantara could become a case study for how to build a capital from scratch. But if it stumbles, it'll be remembered as a warning. Either way, the world is watching. And if it fails, Nusantara won't just be a missed opportunity, it'll be a warning to every nation dreaming of a fresh start. Before you go, quick tip. I booked my last trip to Cancun for half the usual price using Expedia. Not joking. And I'm not gatekeeping either. My affiliate link's below, so you can get the same deals. No extra cost to you. Just real savings. Also, if you enjoyed this, I'd be truly grateful if you bought me a coffee. I spend hours digging into stories like this and turning them into something worth watching. Your support helps me keep going. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and up next, China's building a record-breaking sea tunnel so massive it almost sounds impossible. Trust me, you have to see this.